Phone. Thanks for making News Channel 5 #1 all day yesterday.
Tonight, exclusive video of a deadly disaster in the heart of New York City. For the second time this year, a construction crane collapses and plunges to the street below. How could it have happened again? I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, clerical errors.
I'm white! I'm entitled! There's a black man stealing my show!
Another clergyman causes headaches for Barack Obama. A cancer drug scam that could make big profits for doctors while endangering their patients. We'll follow the money. And barefoot in the park and everywhere else, Steve Hartman with the man who shuns shoes.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. It started out as an ordinary morning rush hour here in New York City today. The streets crowded with people heading to work. Then something went terribly wrong. A crane being used in the construction of an apartment building suddenly collapsed. The 30-year-old operator and another construction worker were killed. And for New Yorkers, this disaster was all too familiar. Kelly Wallace is at the scene.
As smoke billowed from the street, residents ran for their lives. This exclusive home video captured the moments after the massive crane literally broke apart, crashing down and smashing into a 23-story apartment building across the street. Brandy Chylinski lives on the 7th floor.
The whole building just shook. I had, a couple pictures falling off the wall. I initially thought it was an earthquake. And then, of course, the next thing in my mind was 9/11.
Before firefighters arrived, construction workers peered through the rubble, then suddenly moved away, perhaps fearing more raining debris.
We saw a guy pinned underneath the debris, parts of the crane. We tried to get him out. 2 construction workers were killed, including crane operator Donald Leo, the son of a New York City firefighter who was about to get married. Another construction worker is fighting for his life.
What has happened is unacceptable and intolerable. Having said that, we do not at the moment know exactly what happened or why. It would appear that the contractor and the buildings department followed regulation.
It is the second fatal crane collapse in New York City in less than 3 months. In March, 7 people were killed when a crane demolished a 4-story townhouse. After that incident, the city's inspector was arrested on charges of falsifying records. The building commissioner was forced out, and officials re-inspected cranes at every job site, but not this one, since it wasn't erected at that time.
But we just figured with the new codes and the inspections and stuff, everything should be all right. But obviously that's not the case.
This is the latest incident in a series of crane mishaps around the country. Last week, a crane collapse in Weston, Missouri killed 1 construction worker. In Ingleside, Texas, 2 cranes collapsed last month, leaving 1 man dead. And in March, in Miami, a collapse killed 2 construction workers. Today's tragedy happened at the height of morning rush hour on New York's Upper East Side, and could have been so much worse.
If it would have fell into the building, it probably would have had 20 to 30 deaths.
And CBS News has learned that inspectors stopped work at this site 2 times in the last month, including once because they said the crane was being operated in an unsafe manner. We also know that inspectors were here as recently as yesterday after a neighbor complained about material being hoisted over the street. Katie?
And Kelly, the mayor says it appears the construction company followed regulations, but how can he say that since it had been cited for so many safety violations?
Well, that is a key question and a key focus of the investigation. Of course, when there are any violations, the work can continue once those violations are corrected. The mayor himself, Katie, saying that they will have to see if new inspections and new regulations could have prevented this from happening in the first place.
All right, Kelly Wallace on the Upper East Side of New York City. Kelly, thank you so much. Meanwhile, in West Texas, this may be the last weekend that some of the parents at that polygamy compound will spend apart from their children. Yesterday, the state's highest court ruled that authorities overstepped their bounds when they seized hundreds of children, and today a deal was reached to let them go home. Hari Srinivasan has the latest.
Anxious members of the El Dorado polygamist sect who came to court today learned that they could be reunited with their children as early as Monday. Under an agreement reached today, Texas Child Protective Services said it will return more than 400 children to their parents by the end of next week. Parents will pick up their children from the group homes and foster care facilities where they've been living since they were bused from the ranch 8 weeks ago.
The parents will be picking up their children. The parents, that's the way the parents want it. I think that's also the way CPS wants it.
But the court set conditions for the release. Parents must be photographed when they pick up their child and agree to unannounced home visits as CPS continues to investigate sexual abuse. Children cannot leave the state of Texas or even travel more than 60 miles without permission. And not all the children will go home. Lawyers expect Child Protective Services to keep custody of a handful of girls that they believe were younger than the legal age of 16 when they married or became pregnant.
Appears to be a fair compromise to me. I mean, the children are going back. That's what everyone said they wanted. Everyone said they wanted the children not to be injured, not to be harmed, not to be subject to child sexual abuse. If you take everyone at their word, this order will help ensure that that occurs.
The key investigation now appears focused on Warren Jeffs, the imprisoned leader of the FLDS Church, seen here kissing what is believed to be one of his brides. An affidavit filed in Arizona charges that Jeffs married 2 12-year-old girls and 2 14-year-old girls before his capture 2 years ago.
Lawyers pleaded the court to try and have those reunions happen this weekend, Katie, but the court said it's better to do it right and rather than do it fast. So the first reunions are going to happen Monday morning.
All right, Hari Srinivasan. Hari, thanks. Now to the battle for the Democratic presidential nomination. There are 55 pledged delegates up for grabs in Puerto Rico on Sunday, 31 more in South Dakota and Montana on Tuesday. And believe it or not, that will end the primary season. As of now, Barack Obama is just 45 delegates short of clinching the nomination. And tomorrow, the party's Rules Committee meets to decide what to do about the uncounted delegates from both Florida and Michigan. Meantime, Dean Reynolds reports Obama has another clergy problem.
With even Hillary Clinton now acknowledging that the fight for the nomination may be clarified soon after this Tuesday's primaries, Barack Obama is facing yet another unwelcome flare-up.
He is none other than Father Michael Pfleger.
A longtime friend of Obama's, Father Michael Pfleger, is a Chicago priest who spoke last Sunday at the Trinity United Church of Christ, the same church made infamous by Jeremiah Wright, the church Barack Obama has attended for 2 decades. While the congregation laughed, Pfleger mocked Clinton.
I'm white! I'm entitled! There's a black man stealing my show! She wasn't the only one crying. There was a whole lot of white people crying!
Pfleger later apologized, but as reports of the remarks spread, Obama's campaign said he was deeply disappointed by the priest's words. Clinton's campaign called them divisive and hateful, and John McCain weighed in as well.
That kind of language and that kind of treatment of Senator Clinton is unwarranted, uncalled for, and disgraceful.
McCain, of course, has problems of his own, with preachers roaming rhetorically off the reservation. Just last week, he had to reject the support of controversial Reverend John Hagee, who called the Catholic Church a whore. And McCain is now entangled in his own words that raise questions about his interpretation of conditions in Iraq and U.S. troop levels there.
I can look you in the eye and tell you it's succeeding. We have drawn down to pre-surge levels.
Not so, said the Pentagon this afternoon, pointing out that there are still 23,000 troops above, not at, the pre-surge levels in Iraq. But McCain's camp said reporters who asked if he'd misspoken on the troop levels were nitpicking. But words do matter, whether said by preachers or politicians, and as long as this campaign has gone on, you would have thought that the candidates themselves would have learned that. Katie?
Dean Reynolds. Dean, thank you very much. As we just mentioned, the Democratic Party's Rules and Bylaws Committee meets tomorrow in Washington about the Florida and Michigan problem. Jeff Greenfield is our senior political correspondent. Jeff, this is the hottest ticket in town. For political junkies, that is. What exactly are they deciding, and who's making the decision?
These are essentially Democratic Party insiders, and what they're trying to figure out is what to do about Florida and Michigan's delegates. They jumped the primary gun, held their primaries in violation of the calendar, and as punishment, the Democratic National Committee stripped them of all their delegates. Now, they know they've got to seat these two big states. The question is how?
And what do you think is likely to happen? Half?
The best guess is that with Florida, where both candidates were on the ballot, they will seat the delegation as voted, but strip them of half their voting power. That'll give Hillary Clinton about 20 more votes at the convention. Michigan, where Obama wasn't on the ballot, there's talk that they'll split that evenly. That's not going to make the Clinton people happy, and it's not going to make some Michigan Democrats happy.
Now, all this is unlikely to affect the outcome, but it could very well affect the mood of the convention, couldn't it?
Absolutely. There are going to be almost as many Clinton as Obama delegates in Denver. If they feel their candidate has been disrespected, they have the power to do platform fights, rules fights, nominate another candidate for vice president, throw the thing into disarray, the last thing the Democrats want to happen in Denver.
All right. Jeff Greenfield. Jeff, thanks very much. Now, turning to the war on terror, today the head of the CIA reported major progress, saying, in effect, al-Qaeda is on the run. Here's David Martin.
Osama bin Laden continues to plot against the United States from his sanctuary in Pakistan, but the tide of war is turning against him. That, according to CIA Director Michael Hayden, who says al-Qaeda has suffered significant setbacks. According to Hayden, al-Qaeda in Iraq, which once turned that country into a slaughterhouse, is now on the brink of defeat. A development academic experts say would be a disaster for bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden cannot afford a major loss in Iraq because it will affect his message, his ideology, his ability to recruit young Muslim men to his global jihad against the United States.
In Saudi Arabia, where al-Qaeda once launched a suicide attack against a compound housing American workers, 100 operatives have been killed in the past 5 years, more than 400 captured last year alone. On top of battlefield setbacks, al-Qaeda is facing an ideological rebellion within its own ranks. A former member of al-Qaeda's inner circle, known as Dr. Fadl, has publicly denounced the group's violent tactics.
And he's not alone. This is a kind of widespread reconsideration within radical Islam about the usefulness of violence.
But Pulitzer Prize-winning author Lawrence Wright warns al-Qaeda remains a threat.
They're under a lot of pressure right now to accomplish something. They need to have another strike.
Al-Qaeda and its charismatic leader have been pronounced all but defeated before. Yet this summer will mark their 20th anniversary. David Martin, CBS News, The Pentagon.
And there is more CBS News ahead this Friday, including the tribe that time forgot deep in the jungle of Brazil, still fighting with bows and arrows. But up next, how cancer doctors who are supposed to be saving lives may actually be putting them at risk.
Sometimes life can be, well, a little uncomfortable. But when it's hard or hurts to go to the bathroom, there's Dulcolax Stool Softener. Dulcolax Stool Softener doesn't make you go, it just makes it easier to go. Dulcolax Stool Softener. Make yourself comfortable.
Honey, how do I stop this itch?
Aww. Is it dry skin, bug bites, sunburn, allergy, grass itch, prickly heat, eczema, rash, poison ivy?
The only medicine you need is Lanacane. It stops itching on contact. Kills germs, too. Lanacane, the everyday, every itch fighter.
There were days my muscles were so sore from my fibromyalgia pain, I ached all over. It was hard just doing the little things that I loved. Then my doctor told me about prescription Lyrica. It's not an antidepressant. It's the first and only FDA-approved treatment that can help relieve my fibromyalgia pain. Lyrica helps me accomplish my daily activities and helps me feel better. So now I can start to think of something other than my pain. Lyrica's not for everyone. Tell your doctor right away about any serious allergic reaction that causes swelling or affects breathing or skin or changes in eyesight, including blurry vision or muscle pain with fever or tired feeling. Some of the most common side effects of Lyrica are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands and feet. Do not drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. You should not drive or operate machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. If you have fibromyalgia, ask your doctor if Lyrica's right for you.
For years, low-dose aspirin has been a cornerstone of heart attack prevention.
Now there is something even more advanced. Ask your doctor about new Bayer with Heart Advantage, the only low-dose aspirin product that not only helps lower the risk of heart attack, but also has phytosterols, proven to lower cholesterol. Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin or modify an aspirin regimen. New Bayer with Heart Advantage. More protection for your heart.
All his life, he had a dream.
I want to become a guru so girls will like me.
Hilarious. Thanks.
On June 20th,
I have a problem with men.
Then work with me.
he's here to bring the whole world together. Mike Myers.
Shrimp?
That's condescending.
Condescending. That's a big word for you.
The Love Guru. Rated PG-13. In theaters June 20th.
Now to a scam involving cancer drugs. To save money, some American doctors are buying cheap drugs from other countries, but their patients never see the savings, and they could end up paying an even steeper price. Cheryl Atkinson follows the money.
Let me just take a quick listen here.
Cancer doctor Subi Rao always figured the job was about saving lives. But a simple fax to his Chicago office revealed a dark side to his profession. The fax was from a Canadian pharmacy offering imported IV chemo drugs at suspiciously deep discounts.
It was inconceivable anybody would do this. It made no sense. Why would you start ordering these drugs from a pharmacy you have no idea or clue about?
After all, delicate cancer medicine requires meticulous processing. Illegally imported drugs could be fake or even toxic. But soon after Dr. Rao got that fax, a fellow oncologist confessed that he was buying those cheap chemo drugs.
That's when I started to have sleepless nights.
When you can't be sure of the origin of the drugs, what kind of risk does that put the patients at?
Buying it from non-FDA sources, you are putting these patients' potential lives at serious risk.
What is their motivation?
The biggest motivation is profit.
Because they aren't passing the savings on to patients, doctors are making an extra buck for themselves. Just look how much. In the U.S., a single treatment of this ovarian cancer medicine costs over $4,000. The imported version, about $3,000. A doctor can walk off with more than $1,000 extra profit. It can add up to millions a year per doctor. And often it's taxpayers taking it on the chin. Then the doctors are charging full price to Medicare or Medicaid and pocketing the difference.
Exactly.
That's how Dr. Rao got the feds involved. Ripping off Medicare is ripping off taxpayers. He played detective and got enough evidence for the FBI to raid the Texas office of the Canadian pharmacy. There they found the names of 100 doctors from across the country who were customers. The first was caught just last month, Dr. Kee Shum of New York. He admits no wrongdoing, but agreed to pay back the government $275,000. There are still lots of loose ends. U.S. officials won't say whether they're pursuing other doctors or if the Canadian pharmacy violated any laws. It's still up and running. And there's no way to know if patients have been hurt, since their complications would likely be blamed on cancer.
So that's a way the physician can get away with it.
Get away with lining their pockets while patients put their trust and lives in their doctor's hands. Cheryl Atkinson, CBS News, Chicago.
And still ahead, they've lived on their own in the jungle for ages. Now they're facing a threat that could wipe them out.
Welcome to the neighborhood, home of Applebee's signature salads, like California shrimp salad with seared shrimp, buttery bib lettuce, fresh avocado, and crispy bacon. Only in Applebee's. It's a whole new neighborhood.
We'd like a new home, but we need to get out from under this one first.
Ready to sell? RE/MAX agents have the experience to get the job done in today's market. Visit RE/MAX.com today.
Are you like me? I have high blood pressure and I have high cholesterol.
But he treats both with one pill.
Catawit makes it easier to manage my two conditions. Catawit contains two proven medicines, one for lowering high blood pressure, the other for lowering high cholesterol, combined in one pill. Catawit. That works for me.
Catawit is one of many treatment options, in addition to diet and exercise that he discussed with his doctor.
Catawit is not for everyone. It's not for people with liver problems and women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. To check for liver problems, you need simple blood tests. Tell your doctor about any heart problems and all other medications you are taking. Or if you experience muscle pain or weakness, as they may be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Along with diet and exercise, Catawit effectively lowers both high blood pressure and high cholesterol. 2 medicines, 1 pill. Ask your doctor if Catawit is right for you.
There were days my muscles were so sore from my fibromyalgia pain, I ached all over. It was hard just doing the little things that I loved. Then my doctor told me about prescription Lyrica. It's not an antidepressant. It's the first and only FDA-approved treatment that can help relieve my fibromyalgia pain. Lyrica helps me accomplish my daily activities and helps me feel better. So now I can start to think of something other than my pain. Lyrica's not for everyone. Tell your doctor right away about any serious allergic reaction that causes swelling or affects breathing or skin or changes in eyesight, including blurry vision or muscle pain with fever or tired feeling. Some of the most common side effects of Lyrica are dizziness, sleepiness, weight gain, and swelling of hands and feet. Do not drink alcohol while taking Lyrica. You should not drive or operate machinery until you know how Lyrica affects you. If you have fibromyalgia, ask your doctor if Lyrica is right for you.
In Honduras today, a jetliner overshot a runway and slammed to a stop on a busy street. The nose of the Airbus hit a retaining wall and the fuselage broke into pieces. 3 people were killed, 75 others hurt. The Grupo Taka jet was making a stop in the Honduran capital before heading to Miami. It is not known what caused the crash. Now to a remarkable discovery deep in the jungles of South America, a native tribe that apparently has never had direct contact with the outside world. They were spotted in a small clearing by a Brazilian government helicopter. 6 huts and people, including brightly painted warriors. When the tribe saw the helicopter, they grabbed bows and arrows and tried to shoot it down. Anthropologist Robert Carneiro spent a year living with Amazon tribes.
They don't know really what the plane is. It's something that looks ominous and dangerous, and a reason to try to scare it off by shooting an arrow at it.
The tribe is believed to be one of dozens isolated in Brazil's Amazon jungle near the border with Peru. Dr. Carneiro says their civilization is threatened by the logging industry and contact with people.
The danger is a combination of loss of habitat, disease, exploitation. If they aren't protected, they're going to become extinct.
Brazil's government says it released these photos to draw attention to their plight and will not visit them on the ground. And still ahead, he's a big supporter of the right to bare feet. Steve Hartman says Simon America is next.
Rescue me, take me in your arms, come on and rescue me.
Like that's ever gonna happen. Make sure you're protected with Tena Serenity's bladder weakness products. Tena, real protection for real life.
Heartburn changes everything. Fortunately, so can Maximum Strength Zantac 150. Just 1 pill makes the suffering stop, so life can start. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac.
My name is Jane, and I've got osteoporosis, but I'm an on-the-go woman. I've been active all my life. That's why I'm excited about Reclast, the osteoporosis treatment my doctor gives me once a year. My doctor says 1 IV of Reclast can help protect me while I'm on the go for 12 months. How? Well, Reclast helps to re-strengthen my bones to help make them resistant to fracture. And with Reclast, well, no other osteoporosis treatment is approved to help protect in more places. Hip, spine, even other bones.
You should not take Reclast if you're on Zometa, have low blood calcium, kidney problems, or you're pregnant, plan to become pregnant, or nursing. Take calcium and vitamin D daily. Tell your doctor if you develop severe muscle, bone, or joint pain, or if you have dental problems, as rarely job problems have been reported. The most common side effects include flu-like symptoms, fever, muscle or joint pain, and headache.
Do what I did. Ask your doctor about Reclast. Year-long protection for on-the-go women.
Oil and natural gas powered the past, but the future. Fact is, a growing world will require more, 45% more by 2030, along with greatly expanding alternatives. We have substantial oil and natural gas resources right here, enough to power 60 million cars and heat 160 million households for 60 years. With advanced technology and smart policies, together we can secure America's energy future. Log on to learn more.
They tickle, they tease, and you sneeze. Maybe it's time to ask your doctor about Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair blocks leukotrienes, an underlying cause of nasal allergy symptoms. And that's how Singulair works differently. One pill, once a day. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat allergies.
Coming up in just moments on News Channel 5 at 6, more crime in Metro can be tied to juveniles, but things may be about to get worse as juvenile court is losing some of its funding at 6.
And finally tonight, remember the story of the old lady who lived in a shoe? Good, then there's no reason to retell it. Instead, though, Steve Hartman tells us the story of a young man who lives without shoes in tonight's Assignment America.
If shoes can make the man, then what are we to make of Chris Rote? A 32-year-old IT specialist and member of the Society for Barefoot Living.
It's more connected to the earth. You get more of a sensory feedback.
The Society is an international organization of more than 1,000 loafer-loathers, people who not only prefer going barefoot, but believe we should all give our shoes the boot.
Foot ailments that podiatrists spend a lot of time treating are at least exacerbated by, and perhaps even caused by, shoes.
And you know what's really disturbing, other than this camera angle? That Chris is right. Or at least there are several recent studies that seem to back him up. One in a podiatry journal called The Foot compared feet today with 2,000-year-old skeleton feet and discovered that, as a species, we had healthier feet before we invented the shoe. That shoes do more harm than good, and that we wouldn't even need shoes if we didn't wear shoes.
Well, did you ever talk to a caveman?
Of course, not everyone is buying it.
No.
Well, then how would you know it's not necessary?
Jerry McNulty is a salesman at Joseph's Shoes in Philadelphia.
You can walk over nails, cut glass, stones. You have to walk all the time watching where you're walking, and you can get hit by a car.
I didn't even factor that in.
Well,
that's tomorrow's email offer.
Chris, who doesn't even wear shoes to his job at a mail order company, insists there's nothing dangerous or unsanitary about it. In fact, those signs that say no shoes, no service by order of the health department, the barefooters say that's a bunch of malarkey. They even have letters from every state health department in America saying there is no such order.
This country is founded on freedom and liberty, and such a simple personal choice really shouldn't be questioned at all.
Still, despite his passion, Chris knows all too well how hard it is to convince people to give up their shoes.
It certainly is.
Yeah. His daughter Lily has 13 pairs.
These for summer.
And insists she needs them all.
And there's for rainy day.
I guess sometimes the apple can fall far from the shoe tree.
Finally, because for most of us the colonoscopy video was enough, I'm not going to be turning to Katie right now and suggesting she finish the program barefoot, but 10 seconds ago she took her shoes off.
I did. I couldn't resist, and I think he's right after being in high heels all day. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope it's not too
no, that's
smelly.
Okay.
Anyway,
no tight shots.
Tell us about, what do you mean no tight shots?
Not of those.
It's not nice. Tell us about next week's story.
Next week, we've got the story of a needy family who got turned down for Extreme Makeover Home Edition, but got their dream house anyway. How? Next week.
All right, looking forward to it, Steve. Thank you very much. Okay, you guys, enough of the two-shot. Thank you very much. And that is this. And by the way, I think my feet are fine. That is the CBS Evening News for tonight. I'm Katie Couric. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Good night.
Next week, sex, love, lies, students' intimate secrets exposed. Are college gossip websites going too far? Next week on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Police say teen violence is on the rise and more cuts to juvenile court may be hurting teens in the long run.
It's the latest store to pack up from a popular mid-state mall. What this means for other businesses in the area.
Also tonight, there's brand new information about that state employee buyout program we've heard so much about. Details in a live report.
And we have a calm day going across our area, but up to the north across the Midwest, some big storms. We'll tell you when those will affect you this weekend. Your news begins now.
From your news and information leader, Tennessee's first and only local news in high definition. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
You'll see an extreme rise in juvenile crime and victims.
A scary prediction for Metro Nashville after the Juvenile Justice Center loses money needed to keep close tabs on troubled teens. Well, good evening, everyone. It's already bad. Police say teens, many in violent gangs, are committing more crimes in Metro.
First on 5 tonight, some say things are about to get much worse. News Channel 5's Nick Barris is here now with this developing story.
Well, Vicki, we learned today that Metro's juvenile court lost funding for 1/3 of its